I'm gonna just be honest. I ain't gonna take too much time on this, but I knew the writing was on the wall from the beginning. Once they had already went and changed, first of all, for people who don't really know the full um picture of everything that happened, once everybody, first of all, as a boxing fan, anybody who's cool with stoppages like that happened this weekend, yesterday, and the Clarke and Whittaker fight, you're the problem with boxing. I'm not gonna lie to you. Too fanned out to really see the point of you know what I'm saying? Like, even in even in UFC, you'll never see stuff like that happen. Dudes gotta get buzzed or something. For some reason, when the referees stop over there and it's early, it's like, okay, this shot's just way harder than that, but I'm gonna just be honest with you though. As far as what I want to say on this, it's gonna be two things. Really like giving fighters an advantage as far as stopping fights early and stuff. I'm just gonna be honest with you. Not really too upset when that happens because at the end of the day, whether it's right or wrong, boxing usually figures things like that out. If a guy goes out there and a fight gets stopped early or at a certain point, you know, you get figured out at certain points. You know, promoters can sit up here and make a guy look a certain way, but in boxing, like Alexander Usyk has been doing lately, like I've been telling a lot of people for the past couple of years, and it was not the popular opinion to say, but a lot of these guys been getting skipped ahead, man. They've been looking a certain way against certain people or in certain scenarios, early stoppages and weird decisions. It's gonna get figured out soon. If you look back in history, everybody don't squeak by as easy as you think. At this point, we can't even make history in boxing because they just want to repeat the same history. They ain't even making history no more. At this point, it's like, yeah, we've seen this before. That's probably the deepest thing I can say as far as anything I say today. Not making history in boxing. This is not making history. You're repeating history, but you're not making any history. But an early stoppage for Clarke after that last fight he had against Warley, I mean, if you think that helps a guy like that coming off a fight he just had against, you gonna put Clarke in another dangerous fight after seeing him. So you gonna stick Clarke in the ring with who? Warley, somebody more dangerous than Warley or on the same level? And them couple of rounds he just had is supposed to show us that he's back? Like, come on, bro. For real. Don't get somebody hurt out here. I'm telling y'all. They're trying to skip dudes ahead of the line. It's happened already. You see, how long Joshua has been out? Joshua fought in September? June. Joshua been out 7 months. 7 months. Seven months. That lets you know everything you need to know. Like, people don't understand it. It's certain what's going on, Aaron? What's up, dog? You enjoy your Easter yesterday, man? I hope you enjoyed everything yesterday, man. I was just doing a quick early live. I'm gonna try to, mix it up a little bit. If I had something to say, I'm gonna just start hopping on instead of waiting. So you might see me on and off live a little bit more. I be waiting to say stuff too much. But yesterday was crazy, bro. I was talking on live. Yeah, appreciate that, man. I'm coming through. But yesterday, you didn't miss anything important, bro. I was probably the dumbest person for watching boxing yesterday. Because both of the fights yesterday got stopped in like the first, second round. And I don't know, man. It was crazy, bro. It really was. It was like, it was obvious, man. It was obvious. The first fight in between these guys was good. The first round yesterday was great. I think in the future, coming up the next couple of, well, not as far as Turkey out of sheet. This is why, as each day go by, they making Turkey out of sheet look better. I'm gonna tell you why. As each day go by, they making Turkey out of sheet look better. I'm gonna tell you why though. Right now we have Ryan Garcia on the main card, and a lot of people say, well, Ryan Garcia is, the main attraction and everything else. So Turkey's like, okay, people making a big fuss about Ryan. Let's go ahead and put him on the main attraction. And the same way with these other guys. So they're saying right now that, Ben Whittaker is basically going to be a main attraction, or he's on his way to it. If he is, I'm just going to say this right now. If he is a main attraction, because he's close to 200 pounds, he's going to have some struggles. If he's going to be a main attraction very soon, because he's not a young guy. He's like 27, about around the same age as Boots. A lot of these promoters trying to skip some of these fighters ahead of the line, and some of the golden boys and the golden childs. It's going to catch up with them very soon. It always happens, man. It always happens. Trust me. Always happens. Not waiting on somebody to fail. I'm just saying. They can't be having guys getting the fights with tough people. And like F.L. Jogba did that with Goodall. Like, bro, you can't get in the fight with somebody dangerous, hit them with a big shot, then the referee jump in. Oh, it's over. Nah, man. You gonna ruin these guys like that. They look good to the average person, but somebody who really know boxing, they know what time it is. Like, bro, y'all trying to skip these dudes ahead. Then when they get in the ring with somebody who really knows how to box, they gonna get embarrassed. I'm telling you. It's happened plenty of times. Plenty of times. I see it every day. What I seen yesterday, let me know right. What I seen yesterday confirms to me. It confirmed to me yesterday that somebody like Wilder or Haney or Benavidez, all these guys y'all don't like, y'all would never give these guys an early stoppage like Ben Whittaker got. Ben Whittaker got a stoppage yesterday like he sell pay-per-views like he's Canelo or something. I've never, and then we got American fighter fans who are, he back. He looked good yesterday. Bro, please. Please. He was getting touched up with a jab, the first punch. As soon as the fight started, he got hit with a big jab the first second of the fight. Go look at the fight. He got hit with big jabs. And he was tired the second round. Come on, man. Let the fight happen, bro. Ain't nobody trying to sit up here and watch no sparring match, man. For real. For real. They want people to pay for fights. Ain't nobody finna pay for no fights. Y'all keep doing stuff like this. People are gonna, yesterday is gonna make you want to steal fights more. Then you have Conor Ben coming up this weekend versus Eubanks. It's not, I know there's gonna be two different companies that's doing the fights. I think boxer's not doing this fight this weekend, but still, like, it was a bad look. Very bad look. And this is why I kept saying, bro, no matter what happens, nothing is going to change the fact that what I say is facts. It's not my opinion. The more 50-50 fights we have, the worse things are going to be, I'm telling y'all. Until they get this problem fixed, it's going to make everything worse. Because even the fights they're not trying to do with Turkey Out and Sheep, it's going to get to a point when people are going to say, man, I just wait till Turkey Out and Sheep put a fight together. It's going to get to that point. If they keep trying to run boxing the way they've been doing the last 10 years, 15 years, it's going to get to a point when people say, hey, just let me know when Turkey Out and Sheep fighting. I'm going to watch UFC until Turkey Out and Sheep put a fight on. Or I'll just watch some local boxing. Because people want to see big fights, but if you're going to WWE it, I'll just watch WWE. I'm not a fan of early stoppages, bro. Nah, well, yeah, I'll say that. I mean, let me just say this, Aaron. I'm gonna throw this out there. He rocked Cameron with a big right hand, right? Nah, I'm gonna say this too, Aaron. The Frazer Clarke, you know Frazer Clarke, when we was watching him fight on the what card was Frazer Clarke on? He was on the Usyk and Fury card, because you was in here with me. You remember when he got hit with that big shot and his jaw had locked? It looked like he was paralyzed. So he fought yesterday. He gets in the ring with a dude, African fighter with a big right hand. He's hitting him with big right hands. Boom, boom, boom. So I'm sitting here watching it. I'm like, man, I gotta log on and watch the fight. Call the fight. So I'm watching it. Boom, boom. He hit him with big right hands. Frazer Clarke comes in there. He's hitting him with a whole bunch of shots on the ropes. He drops the guy because the guy just standing in front of him. He got caught with a big shot, dropped him. He got hit by like Bacoli did, but he stood straight up. He got right back up. The referee and Frazer Clarke comes in and is hitting the guy. He's punching him to the body. He looked like he's finna break away from him because they were clinching a little bit. The referee jumps in and is like, oh, no, stop it, it's over. So I'm like, bro, what are you doing? You stopping the fight. So when he stops it, the African guy grabs the referee and is like, get off of me. What are you doing? So he grabs the referee. Bro, they had like 50 security guys had to jump in the ring. This is before the Ben Whittaker fight. They had 50 security guys had to jump in the ring because the guy they talking about who's so out of it, and he's so out of it he can't continue, but he finna fight 50 security guys and the referee. But they trying to tell you that he's so knocked out and he's so out of it that they need to stop the fight against a guy who just got dropped in the first round his last fight. So already I got a bad taste in my mouth. Like, man, what are they doing with this refereeing? What's going on with this, bro? I'm like, I know I ain't sit down and watch this. So the next fight happened. They had a little weird situation with Eggington, whatever. I was already mad about that. So the main event come. Cameron come out hit Whittaker with a big jab. Boom. He landed by 3 jabs. Whittaker is on point, though. He's getting hit with jabs every time, though. If you go back and look, every time Cameron threw a jab, Whittaker was getting hit. It looked just like the first fight. Matter of fact, I'll go even deeper than that. Go to the first fight, look at the first round, second round, go to the second fight, look at the first round, second round, it looked the same. But in this fight, they wanted to stop the fight early again. The reason why they having the rematch is because the last fight got stopped early, and it was a draw. So if you would have gave the guy who was actually winning the last fight the win, which would have been Cameron, and Whittaker, if he would have got a win in this fight, it would have been a third fight. But they don't want to do that, though. They're like, man, we already wasting our time with this guy. Let's just go ahead and get an early stoppage and let's just get up out of here. Because Whittaker was gassed by the time he got to the second round, bro. He only fight at 1 speed. No matter how good Whittaker is, I'm gonna tell you right now, he only fight at 1 speed. You can look at any kind of athletics, any kind of sports. Anybody who plays at 1 speed is not a Hall of Famer. And I ain't talking about just, bro, if you know what I mean. And I ain't talking about just fast all the time. Guys who just fast all the time is not Hall of Famers. Any sport. So he only fight at one speed, and he ain't got a gas tank. So he basically got saved in my eyes. So then, Aaron, when I got off of here, right? Because I was like, man, I feel like both of those fights was early. Man, I get off of here, go online, everybody talking about the first fight was, the Frazer fight was early, and this fight was early. I was like, whoa. I said, they think this fight is early? I said, maybe a couple of people. Majority of people feel like the fight was called early. I'm not talking about people who watched this fight, but they ain't watched the first fight. See, a lot of people don't even know that this fight was changed to 10 rounds, from 12 rounds to 10 rounds a couple of days ago. So you telling me the dude who asked everybody to change the fight from 12 rounds to 10 rounds a couple of days ago, they stopped the fight early in the second round because somebody got buzzed by a shot? Does it look like the guy behind him got knocked out? Cameron don't look like he's buzzed and knocked out. He got his arm up. Like, what's going on? But I'm just being real with you. It's not going to help Whittaker situation. I'm keeping it 1,000. I know everybody ain't going to say this, but it ain't going to help his situation. Of course they're not going to say it because they seen Anthony Joshua take all kind of shortcuts, get knocked out by Dubois, and everybody just looking around like, I don't know how that happened. So a lot of these people don't care about what I'm talking about. They're just going to see a fight. But did all that skipping the line stuff help Anthony Joshua? Absolutely not. Even with all the amateur accolades everybody says he is, a medalist and everything else, skipping the line like that doesn't help you, bro. It doesn't. It just doesn't. As long as this continues in boxing in 50-50 fights, we doing that now in 50-50 fights. I heard fans saying yesterday, if you're the A side, you might as well. If you're the B side, you might as well just go in and get your check and go home. If you're a B side fighter. Yeah, it's getting bad, man. We gotta just pick our spots where it's good at, Aaron. Then, it's getting to a point now where people be like, "Oh, the fans don't support, bro." We ain't nobody for support this, bro. Ain't nobody for support stuff like this. Then the guys y'all talk about all day, y'all want to fight. And then later, I got a good live I'm gonna talk about with a lot of these other fans out here in America that's just hyping these guys up who, bro, it's to the point now in America, in the UK, I don't know how. In the UK, it's not that bad because people trying to act like, man, people just hate Ben Whittaker. Bro, didn't nobody think Liam Cameron was gonna win the first fight? People did, but didn't nobody wasn't a lot of people on his side the first fight. And then also, people wasn't even looking at it that Ben Whittaker only had like I think he only had like one 10-round fight. I don't even know if he had a 10-round fight. So the fact that people wasn't looking at that, they were like, oh. So they never took Cameron serious anyways as far as the media because they try to play it down like, oh, well, Whittaker's, bro, it should have been a black eye that this man wanted a 10-round fight after signing up for 12. It should have been a black eye that he flipped out of the ring like that after showboating in the ring as far as, you know what I'm saying? You making fun of other people in the ring. You making other people look bad. You can't just go out there and beat somebody. Not to say that what he was doing was just, he was trying to embarrass people, but he got to bring some kind of exposure to himself. I understand that. So I'm grown. I understand that, but bro, you can't, when it go bad on your side, you can't take it like a man. Nah. And boxing rewards this. That's why I said a lot of these promoters, bro, you fell off. Vince Shalom and Boxer, they fell off yesterday, bro. And they've had good promotions last year. But this right here was weak, bro. It was weak. This was the worst. That's why after yesterday, I'm like, bro, why ain't nobody else? I don't know, bro. These fans ain't fans, bro. I don't understand, bro. I don't understand. These fans ain't fans, bro. They don't understand about the sport of boxing. They like fighters, but as far as the sport, bro, the sport of boxing is like a can getting kicked down the road, bro. Wherever it ends up, bro, that's where it ends up. Yeah, it's getting bad too, Aaron. It's getting bad, bro. It's getting so bad because right now, we had all last year and the year before that to figure out about the judging. Like I'm gonna tell you, I'm gonna be real with you. If people would have figured out a lot of stuff as far as, I don't know, man, boxing really, to be honest with you, whatever crowd, boxing is entertaining a crowd right now that doesn't want to help build up boxing. They'll try to put it on things as far as, oh, these are the fans who pay for boxing, these are the fans. Bruh, like I said, they don't want to cater to the fan bases that help build up boxing. They want to cater to the fan bases that'll hit the like sometimes, but they'll still fight. You know, they'll like little viral clips of boxers getting knocked out or whatever and certain things, but these are the crowds that laugh at a prospect getting knocked out on a Jake Paul card. They entertain the boxing fans who see a prospect get knocked out on a Jake Paul card, and that's the only knockout they can remember that whole year because they don't really watch boxing like that. That's the crowd that they entertain. That's why Jake Paul is at the status he's at right now. So they like that kind of crowd, you know what I'm saying? They kind of cater to that. But as far as in America, you ain't gonna have no Ben Whittaker or no Anthony Joshua. You can't, in America, we can't even have that. Ben Whittaker and Anthony Joshua definitely wouldn't get treated like this in America. They would be like, oh, that guy's a bum. Trust me. You got guys in America that done way more than both of those guys. And they don't get treated as well as this. I've never seen none of those guys, as far as the fighters over here who got power, like Tank. I ain't never seen no guy get no stoppage like that in the first couple of rounds. Even against a journeyman. When these dudes on top rank fighting, these prospects are fighting guys, they gotta knock these guys out. Their early stoppage stuff is not happening. They better fix it quick. Cause I'm just gonna be reactive from now on. All that teaching stuff, bro, that stuff out the window now. If you don't know what's going on, you finna get left behind, bro. There's a fight coming on every week. I told people, I already warned everybody. There's a fight coming on every week. If you don't know what's going on, better do some studying. Cause everybody, I heard people bringing up the other stuff. Like, I'll talk about it later, but this right here was no good, man. If they don't fix this situation with Ben Whittaker, they gonna put him in a bad spot, man. He's a small guy for 175. Sorry. He's 6'3". He's 6'3". But you gotta think about it. He's 6'3" at 175. He's not 6'3", 200. I think Alexander Usyk is 6'3". You understand what I'm saying? So he's not a huge 6'3", unless he's cutting weight like I said the other day that I was hearing about. But that was a bad look for him, for his development. Bro, his problem is he needs to build up his stamina to go. He needs the experience of going 10 rounds or 12 rounds. He really needs the experience of going 12 rounds. We talking about putting him in the ring with 12-round fighters, and this dude ain't fought a 12-round fight. Y'all gonna get this dude's career ended in a wrong way. Instead of seeing him get dropped, instead of trying to avoid seeing him get dropped a couple of times, which has happened in the last 2 fights, they avoided him trying to get seeing him get knocked out. They avoided that situation, and as soon as he got caught, because if we're talking about the fight should have got stopped, That means the fight should have got stopped in the first fight when Cameron was hurting Ben Whittaker. Because I don't know if people would know it or not, but Ben Whittaker was getting hurt badly in the first fight. I think he might have got hit with worse shots than what Cameron got hit with. And I might do a side-by-side clip of that, though, if I feel like it. But yeah, man, I'm just be honest with you. You know, UK has definitely done a good job as far as the judging I've seen recently. But yeah, Ben dropped the ball, man. He made everybody look bad. I ain't even gonna lie. That boxer promotion, it made the whole country look bad. Made them look bad, man. People can say what they want, but nobody says this about any other fights. As far as the early stoppage, it's talked about a lot of times, but the same card, 2 fights? Come on now. Majority of people. B-side fighters get treated like crap in boxing. The only B-side fighter they treat well is a fake boxer that was in a movie. The real B-side fighters in real life, they get no respect. That's why nobody wants to be B-side. That's why a lot of guys don't want to fight in other countries. This is why Canelo's first time fighting in another continent, in other countries besides North America, or continent like North America, is Saudi Arabia. That's it. He's not going to other countries because of stuff like this. He knows what time it is. Even he knows, and that's Canelo. People will say, oh, well, he just wanted to fight in America. He's not from America, bro. Sorry to tell you. Even he knows. Even he knows. That's why it's only one type of fighter that fights outside of America, and it's only one type of fighter that fights in America and gets respect. I'm being honest. I'm gonna be real with you. As far as leading up to this Ryan fight or whatever, it's already lost a lot. Y'all already lost a lot of boxing fans behind this Ryan Garcia stuff. Y'all these fans and they can think that a lot of people think like this. But even with this judging and stuff y'all got behind this, you're gonna lose a lot more fans. It's a lot of fans that not okay with the fights that's coming up this weekend. It's a lot of fans that's not okay with a lot of this stuff that's going on. This is stuff that never happened before. Then you got fans that's talking about I want to put my kids in boxing, or they got their kids in boxing, but they going along with everything that's going to hurt their child in boxing. What world are we living in? We got people sending their kids to a slaughterhouse called boxing. And they follow everything wrong. Man, it's crazy. Send them to a slaughterhouse, bro. That's wild. That's wild. People will say, oh, you're over-exaggerating. Bro, in a couple of weeks, do y'all see the main events they've been having lately? Look at the main events they've been having lately. They are telling you right now who they value. Why is Berlanga headlining a Riyadh season card? Are we serious? What is going on out here? Like, bro, this is insane. That's worse than having Charlo on a main event card. At least he's undisputed. At least he's been a champion before. We got people that never been champion headlining Riyadh season cards. What the hell is going on in boxing, bro? For real. What the hell is going on? We got fans just sitting there. Yeah, man, that's cool, man. Bro, don't ever go to prison, bro. Y'all are done. You'll never be the same. You'll never walk the same. You just accept anything. You are a lapdog. Yeah, that yesterday though, that was horrible. Man, betting on boxing it's a wrap. Do not bet on boxing. I'm gonna just say that. If you bet on boxing, bet on should I say undercard? Yeah, I guess undercards. Yeah, bet on the undercard or something. Anything main event, main card, co-main event, close to co-main event, big name, stay away from it, bro. Stay away. Just stay away. Just stay away. I mean, dudes' favorite fighters ain't never got a stoppage like this. And people like, yeah, man. I ain't never seen Errol Spence get no stoppage like this. I ain't never seen Terrence Crawford get no stoppage like this. I ain't never seen Deontay Wilder get a stoppage like this. Never. Wilder had to make a guy sit on his knees and his ankles with his head on the ropes to get a stoppage. Let me go ahead and put that up there now. Show everybody what we got to do in America to get a damn stoppage. People talking about, oh, these dudes ain't cheating. Oh, that was a fair fight. These dudes over here throw 2 punches and get a stoppage. Man, this generation failing, man. We ain't got too many solid ones in our generation, bro. It's a wrap. A lot of these dudes, man, they act like they tough and everything. Talking about pulling up, they ain't pulling up nothing but a diaper. These dudes is Jody, our baby boy, man. Everybody go along. It's disgusting what people. I mean, we got technology that was never seen before, and dudes still laying down trying to repeat the same thing that already been said. Same kind of opinions. Like, bro, be different, bro. Then you got people in this generation that want to disrespect people like Martin Luther King. At least he held his own nuts. He ain't sitting around here just accepting opinions that everybody else running around like it's facts. This dude had to sit somebody's head on the ropes to get a stoppage. But people be like, man, these dudes can't box, man. Oh, well, Fury got up though, man. Fury, he had got up at a certain point. You ain't seen none of these boxers sit nobody down like this. Not even a journeyman. They can't even sit a journeyman down like this. But these dudes getting stoppages though. Like they really sell tickets like that. I see a lot of brown nosing from promoters and fans in this generation. It's getting exposed. They'll sit up and tell you how good Triple G was. But then you got fighters that's getting more publicity and treatment and better treatment than a Triple G. How great was he if you got other fighters getting treated better than he was? Before our eyes right now, this is like the NBA step back right now. What's going on, Slick Nick? The way they stopping these fights right now, this is like the equivalent of the Tom Brady tuck rule. This is like the NBA bringing in a step back, the Euro step. This is like when they start throwing all those technical fouls out just for throwing the ball too hard. So we had stoppages yesterday where guys was punching back, wasn't even hurt, wasn't even buzzed, wasn't even bleeding. And referees is just like, yeah, stop the fight. First and second round. But for Wilder to get a stoppage, you got to sit a dude down like this. Shout out to Slick Nick too, man. He got to sit at that. He got to sit. What's going on, Native Wild, man? And these dudes act like, man, I watch boxing, man. Bruh, these dudes don't watch no boxing, man. I'm gonna be honest with y'all. These people do not watch boxing, bro. We gotta stop giving everybody accolades and respect like they actually know something. These dudes do not know boxing, man. They do not know boxing. They've done nothing but hurt the sport, bro. To be honest with you, the racism in boxing right now is definitely the number one reason why Turkey Al-Sheikh is in boxing. The reason why boxing is trash right now. Shout out to Native Wild, man. Thanks for checking in at work, bro. The racism in boxing is definitely the reason why boxing is trash right now. And I'll probably do a deeper, in-depth talk about that later on for you guys. But it's the reason why boxing is trash right now. It doesn't help sell tickets. It looks like right now, it looks like, to be honest with you, it looks like they have racism in boxing so they can make the rich people and the people who can actually spend the most money in boxing feel comfortable, who feel like this, the people who look down on people like these boxers. Because when they go to see somebody get knocked out, it ain't like how we look at it. They look at it like almost like a sexual pleasure almost. Because when it comes to certain countries that's having fights, oh, they want to see somebody get knocked out a certain way. And it needs to be the A side. When you go to a certain country, oh, it needs to be the B side, even if it gets stopped early. It's disgusting, bro. And then I'm going to tell you what's worst. What's worse is a fighter in the UK can get treated better in the UK than a fighter in America can get treated in America. Think about that. If the fight Wilder versus Joseph Parker was in America, they probably would have stopped that fight. People might think I'm over-exaggerating, but I'm telling you right now. If Wilder versus Joseph Parker was in America, they would have stopped that fight. It said stoppage. TKO. He ain't punching back. We do have to realize too, and I'm not just saying something just to say it, you know what I'm saying? We do have to realize too, the last 10 or 15 years, we haven't got nothing out of boxing like that for real. Think about the people who's most famous, who's most known for stepping in the boxing ring. No offense, and I'm not being disrespectful. Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. Conor McGregor. Ryan Garcia. Mikey Garcia. Earl Spence. People say don't nobody know Crawford, so am I gonna put him up there? They say he only did 100,000 last fight, so I can't put him up there. Don't nobody know him. That's what they say. So like they really. Did y'all hear what happened today with Eddie Hearn? Well, last night with Eddie Hearn, as far as him and Shakur Stevenson? I knew that was going to happen a couple of weeks ago, a couple of months ago. If anybody follows this channel, you already know what time it is. I told you guys. He was going to test out Eddie Hearn to see what time it was. And people got to realize Shakur Stevenson has a lot more fighters. His cousin, who's one of the top prospects in boxing right now, he has a responsibility to make sure those guys' careers go a certain way as well. So if Berlanga and Shakur Stevenson leaves Eddie Hearn at the same time, which is, something I'll talk about later on that people ain't talking about, but I already said too much. But, it is what it is though. But people think they know what's going on out here, and they don't. These dudes be talking about the business of boxing, bro. They need to stop. They ruined the last couple of generations when it comes to boxing. The last two generations of boxing fans have not learned anything from these dudes on YouTube. No disrespect to nobody out here. I'm not being funny. I'm not being disrespectful. I'm not going to anybody who's ever released boxing news or anything. It's getting way out of control, bro. They're not learning anything from these people. It's just kikis and ha-has, and American boxing has failed, bro. It's fallen, right? And people will say, why are you saying it's fallen? It's, we have fighters like Abdullah Mason. He's a prospect. Well, he's not a prospect. He's a contender, but, bro, we got enough talent to where he don't need to be a contender right now. But we have to have him as a contender because everybody else ain't active like that. People ain't fighting like that. He's the only person that wants to fight. He's somebody who wants to put himself in a position to force these people to put him in position. He's signed a contract with Turkey Al-Sheikh before a lot of these other fighters have. That people have been talking about been getting ducked. You gotta understand what I'm saying. A lot of these people got a lot of manpower. They wasted. A lot of man hours been wasted. A lot of promotion has been wasted. A lot of building up fights have been wasted. Just so we can go out here and give Ben Whittaker a second round stoppage that's never been seen before in boxing. Come on, man. Ain't it happened twice yesterday? What are we doing with the sport, man? We just seen George Foreman pass away for what? For this? And what's crazy is, man, people don't think about tomorrow. They be thinking about today. Like the next generation, when they get a sport of boxing, it's going to be a cage around it. It's going to be a cage. And you're going to have people hanging from the top of the cage, all kind of weird stuff. Because the way it's going right now, it's an entertainment show. It's about numbers. It can't just be about the sport being good. It got to be, oh, well, everything they're doing ain't working. Every time they try to find a reason why they're doing certain things, it doesn't work. You can't sit around here and be throwing, having super fights and super cards and throwing guys on the main card who's not main event as the A side, who never been a champion before. What are we doing in boxing? If I had money, I could build a prospect the same way. As soon as it gets to the second round, hey, referee, I'm gonna tell my boxer, hey, throw two big shots. As soon as they land, what's going on, Abdul? Raheem? I'm gonna tell my the boxer, hey, as soon as he second round start, throw two big shots, we gonna call it. We gonna stop the fight and we gonna build you up. It happens all the time. These dudes getting built up still. They still getting built up. As much as people got to say about Tank, a lot of people ain't even doing what Tank doing. What's up, Pancho Villa? A lot of people won't give a Lamont Roach any kind of chance. Shout out to Pancho Villa, Abdul Rahim too, man. That's why fans was so excited when they seen the Tank and Lamont Roach fight. Just want to see a fight. Everybody thought, oh man, when Tank have a close fight, everybody gonna be trolling and everything. Nah, that's just y'all doing that. That's what y'all doing. Nobody else running around trolling like that, bro. We got real lives going on. Half of these dudes that people be trolling about anyway is getting knocked out or lose badly. He said the next generation only watches heavyweight and big fights. I seen nowadays only highlights and people talking about rubbish. Yeah, exactly. You're right. You're right. When I seen Ben Whittaker with all the views online, I'm like, man, this is not good. I never seen a guy. Appreciate that, Pancho Villa, man. You all right. Much respect for you, bro. Shout out to Abdul Rahim too, man. Abdul Rahim is right, bro. I'm gonna tell y'all something else. Abdul Rahim is right. And I'm gonna talk about something later on that's gonna be huge for y'all. I'm just on here early. I'm starting coming on here early every day around this time in the morning, give y'all something to listen to. But yeah, he's speaking facts though. I seen fans this weekend talking about Charles Conwell. People don't know it, but the guy Charles Conwell fought, the Mexican fighter, he is a specimen, bro. The dude was like, in my breakdown, I was like, the guy's only like 5'10". I seen he was like 6 foot. I'm like, 6 foot. Man, this dude is like almost 6'2" when he gets in the ring. If you listen to me when I called the fight this weekend, just as soon as I started the live, I did the Charles Conwell fight. I said, bro, this dude is finna fight a guy with speed, power, who is 6'2", 6'1", at 154. This is finna be a disaster. And this is a guy, people say, oh, Charles Conwell had a guy who passed away in the ring when he was fighting and everything else. That didn't happen, bro. That don't matter. When you get in the ring with a dude who's 6'2", who has power and speed, and he's a Mexican fighter, bro, I'm telling you, those be the most dangerous guys. If y'all look at any kind of upsets lately, it's usually a Mexican fighter who has like 2 or 3 losses. He's fought everybody. No amateur background. This dude been in Mexico his whole career. Those are the fighters you got to watch out for. See, I'm more intrigued by Mexican fighters who just come straight out of Mexico and fight over here like Canelo did. The guys who like have a lot of amateur fights over here or a lot of pro fights early over here, I mean, they're the same, but not really. You know what I'm saying? It's the same. It's like Pitbull and Rayo. It's like Rafael Espinoza. Then you have, the other guys over here like American fighters. But you have guys like Bam and Virgil Ortiz, but it's a different animal. It's a different animal. But this generation, they don't understand that though. Like, the way they're building up fighters right now, you're not going to be able to do that. And I'm going to tell you right now, it's a lot of fighters that's fighting on undercards right now that can't wait until Dana White makes this league. A lot of these guys, they can't wait till Dana White makes this league because of stuff like this. It's fighters right now that know that they're never going to be a Ryan Garcia or a Tank Davis because they don't have the fan base. They need a place where they can go fight at and make a name for themselves just off of fighting. They don't want to go online. Everybody can go online and get the likes and, do the entertainment for everybody to like their personalities and everything else. Because if you really look at it, most of these guys don't really have a personality who people actually like. You got to think about it. Most people who people really like, they have a horrible personality. Mike Tyson has a horrible personality, but the people like him. Jake Paul has a horrible personality. Most people who's like, they're not really like guys who's have the perfect personality. They're like wild cards. That's what happens. What's going on, Wild Man? All right, I'm gonna holler at you later on, bro. Yeah, man, exactly, Pancho. Like, they don't understand that, man. Like, the way boxing is becoming right now, they're thinking more of, oh, it'll just be these fighters over here. No, bro. Once that floodgate gets open, and when you have, because I'm gonna tell you right now, if Dana White actually puts on fights, and they're more competitive than the fights I seen yesterday, I'm gonna end up just watching those. You're gonna have a choice. You know how sometimes now they have a fight like that's on the zone. They'll have like Sabril Matias fighting the same time as Tank. Yeah, you'll still probably watch the main event of those cards, but if the undercard of Dana White is better than another undercard for a boxer or a Matchroom, the zone, and those fights are on at the same time, I'm gonna watch that Dana White undercard. Then when Tank comes on and somebody else, then I'm gonna watch that fight. And that's what everybody's gonna start doing. That's what everybody's gonna start doing. Yeah, boxing becoming a joke. I seen a guy that was on my Twitter yesterday. I told him thanks for the support, but he said as soon as that Ben Whittaker fight started, he was just walking into the arena. Just walking into the arena. How do you have a fight that you made the rematch just because the fight got stopped early the last time? Then you stop the fight early this time before anybody even touches the ground. Like, huh? I don't know if everybody saw that fight yesterday, bro. The 2 fights yesterday, if you seen Frazer, Clarke, and Ben Whittaker, the highlights should be the whole fight because it was only 3 minutes. Man, those were the worst stoppages I ever seen, man. Some of the worst. He said this generation views short video clips and trending boxing match broadcasts. If you talk about upcoming boxing unknown, they don't have a clue. Boxing become a joke in this generation. I love the old school fights on YouTube. Yeah, I think it's more so too the media. Like the media doesn't really build up certain guys until they get to a certain point. They'll choose to. They'll tell you about a young Canelo who's not ready to step in the ring with Floyd Mayweather. They'll promote him. But when it comes to, and that's what I'm gonna talk about too a lot more later on. But a guy like Zurdo Ramirez, like listen to this now. I'm gonna tell you what's wrong with boxing. Zurdo Ramirez is a Mexican fighter who's fought Bivol. He's fought just about everybody. They lining him up to fight everybody from heavyweight to cruiserweight to lightweight. So this is a Mexican fighter who's basically going to fight everybody from heavyweight, cruiserweight, and lightweight. But they got Edgar Berlanga headlining a main event card, a super fight card. But then they got Zurdo on an undercard, a co-main event. He's a unified cruiserweight champion in boxing, has 2 cruiserweight belts. This dude done fought everybody. And now he's thinking about fighting Benavidez and everybody, which is going to be a super fight. And you got him on a co-main event for Jake Paul? What are we doing? They'll say, well, we're just doing that to promote him, so he can get some views. Bro, we have so many platforms in boxing. Why do you need him to be promoted by Jake Paul? Are we serious? And I don't think more people know Barrios because of Jake Paul. So that's a horrible reason. Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah, that's what I was saying, Abdul. For them to stop that fight earlier with Frazer Clarke, for him to get that dent in his head last time, for them, they actually did him a disservice because that guy was Tete. He was rocking him in the first round. He was beating the crap out of Frazer Clarke. I was like, whoa. It wasn't until Frazer Clarke threw that big right hand when they was in the center of the ring. Tete had his hands down, got dropped. He got hit like Bacoli did against Joseph Parker, but he got up faster and his legs was under him. He was able to respond. He really didn't get overwhelmed when Frazer Clarke started throwing a barrage of punches when he got up. But the referee jumping in, that was a horrible stoppage, man. It was so horrible. The guy was out. He was ready to fight like 50 security guards. He was ready to fight 50 security guards. Yeah, boxing is taking a turn for the worse, bro. It is. It's getting bad out here. It's getting bad, man. It's getting bad. And they're relying on the worst part is they're relying on people to look at the truth about boxing in a bad way. You know what I'm saying? The minute they said hating is if you're telling the truth, you're hating, the media, they're winning. They love when people do that. They love that. The media loves it, man. For people to say, people are hating on Ben Whittaker. Bro, everybody picked Ben Whittaker to beat Liam Cameron the first fight. Everybody. Nobody's hating on Ben Whittaker. I don't know why people said that. Nobody's hating on Ben Whittaker. Matter of fact, when Frazer Clarke got hit with that big shot and it looked like he was paralyzed for a minute, that didn't really go viral. Nobody made fun of that, to be honest with you. So they make it seem like fans are just out here just looking at certain things like, oh man, Fabio Wardley hurt Clarke badly, man. He should have got at least 4 rounds. They're going to end up getting that man put in the hospital. So you're going to put Frazer Clarke in the ring with a guy who's possibly better than Wardley in the future. And what are you going to do? You're going to get him put in a wheelchair because you don't want him to be embarrassed in this fight? A lot of people say he should retire his last fight. So the next fight, he should at least come out here and not get an early stoppage. That doesn't benefit. It makes him look good, but that doesn't benefit him. Because maybe if he would have looked bad in this fight a certain way, if you would have seen something, you were like, he lost a step. He doesn't react the same. Maybe we need to pull him back and have him fight some journeyman until he get ready. He just came out of a big fight recently. But no, we're going to throw him back in the mix. He's 33, 34. Let's throw him back in the mix, man. He's too old. He can't wait around. I'm telling you. But the thing about it is, it's going to show the difference between what Turkey Al-Sheikh is doing and what everybody else is doing. But I got to remind myself, too, to talk about the Shakur Stevenson thing. I'll talk about that. Matter of fact, I'll talk about it now, since everybody's on here. Shakur Stevenson had came out, and he fired Eddie Hearn recently. I guess he's going to fire him or possibly fired him already. From what I heard, he was on like a 2-fight deal because he wanted to leave himself open just in case of the Tank Davis situation. I was thinking more so he wanted to see how Eddie Hearn was going to, do certain things as far as his promotion. And I'm pretty sure Shakur Stevenson was looking at the Devin Haney situation. And like I said, Edgar Berlanga, he's known for being friends with Shakur Stevenson. So I'm pretty sure Shakur Stevenson has allegedly probably asked him, what your experiences has been with Eddie Hearn so far. And with him leaving Eddie Hearn recently, that probably didn't help the situation. And then with Shakur Stevenson seeing Eddie Hearn put Berlanga on a co-main event, and he's like, oh, he's not my fighter right now. So he's kind of like, if we doing stuff like that where it's just business, then I'm gonna keep it business as well. Then I'm gonna probably find somebody else who can do certain things that I'm looking for. Because when you're a promoter, promoters get rid of boxers all the time. They're looking for certain things. They'll put boxers in a certain spot that's just not good for them, just so they can save another fighter. So if you're Shakur Stevenson, you gotta do what you need to. That's why he said, let me go ahead and step away from Eddie Hearn real quick and see what I can do for myself, because I haven't gotten the fights I'm really looking for. Does it pay to fight? I mean, that's technically a mandatory, so that's not something that he really got me into. I was already going to have that regardless. That was something that Zepeda's kind of having, so let me go ahead and step away from Eddie Hearn real quick. He doesn't have anything going on right now. He does have boots, but Shakur Stevenson has a cousin who's a top prospect, and he can't be messing around with Eddie Hearn if he's iffy with him. Then he got rid of his manager. Same thing, man. You gotta do these promoters like that. Promoters always get rid of boxers. Berlanga has been with Top Rank. He's been with Matchroom with Eddie Hearn. I'm hearing now that he's possibly gonna be with PBC or somebody else, maybe a free agent. I can see a lot of boxers trying to do what Devin Haney's done in the past with recent fights, and a guy like Turkey Al-Sheikh would definitely make that something that's easier to be done. It'll be that simple. Yeah, these middlemen, man, it's just, and the UK fans, they're tired of it, bro. The UK fans, they're so tired of the middleman, Eddie Hearn, Frank Warren, Ben Shalom situation, as far as the fake beefs and promoting fights and trying to build guys up, because it's ruined a lot of fights, man. Still haven't got Fury and Joshua. I told people over the years, bro, that fight is not guaranteed to happen, man. These dudes is not jumping in the ring like that. And when you say that at the time, people are like, oh, you're a hater, man. You're just saying that because Wilder is, no, bro, that's their career, bro. Anthony Joshua's career is going to have Ngannou and Usyk twice and no Fury. That's not going to be my resume. You got to look at certain things like this. A person that might be popular in this generation, 40 years later, it might not be a popular guy. The guys who were popular 40 years ago, most people don't know those guys. You got to leave a real mark. He said current boxing is on decline in quality and going to get worse and worse. I'm going to tell you why it's getting worse too. I'm going to be honest with you. Because right now they trying to build boxing off of prospects. They sitting around here. We got guys who's live dogs who should be in the ring right now, but we got boxing promotional companies that's like, they trying to push, and I'm not saying a prospect shouldn't get promotion. That's not what I'm saying. I think prospects is the reason why boxing goes. But I'm saying you can't have guys who need certain publicity But we've seen a prospect more than we've seen just a guy who possibly can be a star. Just got to realize that. It happens like that all the time. Really, the shine, as far as with Keyshawn Davis, the shine didn't really go on him until Shakur Stevenson kind of stepped away. And that was just recent. You know, last year, a lot of people was looking at him like he was a joke. So a lot of these guys got to fight their way into certain situations. It's a bad look overall. And if you have one slip up, you're done. It can't be like that. Yeah, the referees, premature stoppages, hate these judges' scorecard, hate these commentary with their biased commentary. Yeah, the commentary is outrageous, man. I was hearing some commentary recently because, you know, I'm trying to watch the undercard before I watch the fight, do a live commentary. But these dudes, they're terrible, man. I gotta watch it on silent. I gotta watch it on mute. I had to watch it on mute, man. I used to hate growing up and seeing these guys talking about a boxing fight. And I'm like, I'm not seeing anything he's saying. I used to hate that, man. That was one of the main reasons I started the channel. I'm like, I'm not seeing anything these guys are talking about. You're not looking at Eubanks Jr. and Ben. I was gonna do a live on that today. My energy kind of went away a little bit. I think I'm gonna do a video talking about Chris Eubanks Sr., what he talking about first. I might do that first, or I might do that second. But what he's talking about. Yeah, man. Abdul Rahim. You know what it is? They build up too many fights. They build up too many fights. They've hit the lottery. These guys have made a lot of money. They're kind of going out. They're going out of sale right now. They making whatever they can as far as the fighters, but a lot of these people aren't really getting prospects like that. They're getting guys who are already professional, already made fighters. If you're not an Olympian or nothing like that, they most likely are not going to invest in you. So it's kind of dead in the water right now. I gotta agree with you, and that's why they're having this Eubanks and Ben fight right now, because they want to get as much as they can out of the fans. They want to get as much as they can in America and UK. Because in the UK, they're doing, you know, this fight. They were supposed to do Tyson Fury and Joshua. This was actually supposed to be the card, but it's not going to happen. They got Eubanks and Conor Ben, and that's what they're rolling with. You say you're not looking forward to any fighters in this year? Yeah, I know. I'm going to enjoy the fights and see what adjustments they make. The only reason I'm not looking forward to a lot of things is because these scorecards and these early stoppages, I seen it last year when they had a lot of early stoppages. I was like, whoa. And to do it in a main event card like that, Liam Cameron versus Ben Whittaker, a fight where both of the guys fell out of the ring and you end that fight early because somebody got hit with a big shot. You're robbing the fans, man. They got to understand that. They're robbing the fans. They're robbing the fans. A lot of these, I'm starting to feel like promoters look at fans like they're chess pieces. Like, man, they'll support whatever, you know. Boxing is boxing. They can't find any other boxing. Yeah, you think that. They think that. But anybody that's old enough to remember, we make the fighters popular. When fans remember that and they start doing that again like they used to, they'll be smart. I remember one point in time where Kimbo Slice was more popular. What's going on, Gypsy and the Vanilla Gorilla? What's going on with you, man? I seen your video recently too. But I'm old enough to remember when the internet, as soon as the internet got made, let me tell you how smart human beings are. As soon as the internet got made, right? Well, not the internet, but like, you know, YouTube. People start putting fights on YouTube. So, you know, as the fans, we're not getting the fights we want to see. So we're like, hey, you know what? Let's go to the internet, see what kind of fights we can find. And Kimbo Slice, just like Gypsy just said, Kimbo Slice. And that was the guy we picked. Everybody, no matter what country you were from, no matter what city or state you were from, everybody didn't huddle up and say, hey man, we should watch Kimbo Slice. Everybody picked Kimbo Slice to be the guy. Everybody picked Kimbo Slice to be the guy. Everybody. Kimbo Slice was so popular that UFC got more bigger by showcasing Kimbo Slice. UFC was like Pro Box until Kimbo Slice fought on there. He said, when there is a fight, my friend want me to it outside, but my friend don't have a clue about it. They just shout and scream when there's another. Yeah, I know. It's hilarious too. But like Gypsy said, Kimbo Slice was the guy we picked. And I was like, who is this guy? Nobody knew who he was. I don't even know if we knew his name. We just seen two big guys in the backyard slanging, throwing hands. I was like, whoa. I mean, he kept uploading videos, uploading. Everybody on the internet said, we need to have this guy on UFC. They didn't say a boxing match. They was like, put the guy in UFC. Forced Dana White to put him in UFC. He went to like a smaller media outlet. I mean, not media outlet, but platform for MMA. Kimbo did. Kimbo went straight from the YouTube to a small platform. Kimbo did so many numbers on that small platform that Dana White had to step in and put Kimbo Slice as like a co-main event or a main event on the card. He said, true, Kimbo can fight with strength, but he lacks some discipline techniques, and techniques beats Braun any day. Just saying, yeah, right. It's facts. He was early on the MMA stuff. Looking back on it, I'm like, man, he should have never jumped in that cage. Because, you know, them wrestlers that was the generation where a lot of wrestlers were starting to get in there, older wrestlers. Like he said about Braun, man, those guys were messing you up. Like Nelson, I forgot his first name, fat guy Nelson. I used to watch all those guys, man. All those guys. Cowboy Cerrone. Yeah, all that stuff came from Kimbo Slice, man. So we usually pick the stars when it comes to certain things. Even like with Conor McGregor wasn't a main guy on UFC at a certain point, but the fans chose him. But they trying to choose the fighters for us in this generation. It's not going to work, man. It's not going to work. It's not going to work. Guys going to have to get knockouts to where we're going to be blown away. That's why I have the Jiu-Jitsu dreams, someone that fight. Yeah, I know. Fold them right up, man. I see somebody do a standing arm bar the other day. I was like, man, yeah, Jiu-Jitsu is still the one style that's legit too. And I'm gonna upload. This gonna be the first week I've been studying. I've been hitting like crazy on UFC. This gonna be the first week I upload some videos on UFC too. So I'm gonna let everybody know about those later on. But UFC, this week, I'm gonna try to get every fight correct. I've been getting like 11 out of 13, 9 out of 13, 12 out of 13, 12 out of 14. I've been hitting on those UFC fights. So I'm gonna start putting up my bet, like the little picks or whatever. I'm gonna start putting the predictions up if people are interested in that. But yeah, I hit like crazy in UFC. I don't know why. I never miss. Yeah, so I'll be uploading more on those. Probably today or tomorrow. I'm gonna put it on the community page once I post, so everybody can see it. You said McGregor's best decision was fighting Mayweather. Absolutely. But people have to realize McGregor and Mayweather were already made fighters in their sports. People try to make it seem like when McGregor and Floyd fought, they try to make it seem like we were all out here like, yeah, man, we don't know who Floyd is. We don't know who McGregor is. We just want to see them fight. Those guys were already made men in their sports. They try to make it seem like those guys were just Oh, okay. Appreciate that, Gypsy. Thanks, bro. Appreciate that, man. He said Dana did not want McGregor to fight Mayweather. Yeah, Dana, because he didn't have a problem with it once the money got talked about. They didn't want to do 50-50, and Dana White used to work for Floyd Mayweather, so he didn't want to Dana White didn't want to do business with a guy he used to work for. If you want to know the honest truth, he didn't want to work. He didn't want to do business with a guy he used to work for. I didn't know he used to work for Floyd though, but he did. He said Google the IBF standing count rules. There are none. Oh yeah. Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. But just on the optics, I just felt like it looked bad. I understand as far as the knockout. I seen another angle today. It was all right as far as the stoppage. It was close, but in a fight like that, man, you gotta have somebody. You gotta have somebody put you on the ground, man. In that type of fight, it was too many fans in there, bro. When you have that many fans come out, I haven't seen Ben Shalom pack out a stadium like that or arena like that recently. So for him to call it short like that in two fights on the main card, the Frazer Clarke and the Ben Whittaker fight, the fans just didn't like that. Yeah, it is. It's the same way in America. America's is the same way. It's actually worse over here. Because sometimes some people, it's actually worse over here, Abdul, because in the UK, I mean, they'll see somebody and be like, okay, like in the Liam Cameron fight, right? People supported Liam Cameron because, he was after he the first Ben Whittaker fight, because he was done wrong and everybody's seen it. But in other situations that they really like a guy, because people feel like nobody likes Ben Whittaker. I feel like they do like Ben Whittaker because he got all the support the first time. And, the guy who fought him just got done wrong. I mean, he had a draw and everybody thought he was winning the fight. And then the fight like this got stopped early, and just not a good look, man. It didn't help Ben. I don't think his promoter really helped him. It was already things that was coming out as far as Ben wanting to fight changed from 12 rounds to 10. I think once fans heard that, they were like, nah. Yeah, they're fickle, bro. American fans are fickle, bro. Very fickle. Very. Very. And don't really enjoy the fights either. Like, we see classic fights and they just don't enjoy them. They're like, on to the next. Like, bro, that was just a good fight, man. No, that's not true. No, that's not true. It's not true. I would agree with you, Abdul, but that's not true. And I would be the first one to say that. Everybody knows that. I would be probably the first person to say that in most cases, but that's not true. They like being more, but it was just when you hear the story, you got to realize, Liam Cameron's been fighting for a long time, 33 years old. People didn't really know him like that. Even after he fought Lyndon Arthur, when he went the distance with Lyndon Arthur, People didn't give him credit for that fight. The ban had been out for like years, bro. Like 6, probably longer than that. Like 8 years probably. And the dude he came back and went the distance with Lennon Arthur, who just went the distance with Vibble. And then nobody really gave him a chance as far as him having a chance to even survive against Ben Whittaker. Nobody gave him a chance to survive in that fight. So when he went in that fight and did what he did and Ben Whittaker flipped out of the ring, a lot of fans were saying, what's wrong with Whittaker? Why he flipped out of the ring like that? That's what most people were saying. Oh, he quit. And then that's when he started to get questioned as far as everything else. You had a couple of people out here that was saying about his showboating or whatever. But at the end of the day, we seen in the first fight, he wasn't showboating. He said, I enjoy the fight. It's too much showboating today. It's hard to find two guys just man up against each other. It is, bro. It's too much talking going on. I feel like it's too much talking going on these days. And I feel like they're trying to build up all these fights. They just don't want to let them happen. We have a lot of talent in boxing, but they won't let you see that because they're too busy trying to have one guy fight against people they know he can beat, instead of just having those guys, like Gypsy said, two guys just manning up against each other fighting. That's it. That's it. People try to make it seem like in this generation, oh, Holyfield was supposed to fight Mike Tyson. He wasn't supposed to fight Mike Tyson. He chose to fight Mike Tyson. He didn't have to do that. Everything Roy Jones did, he didn't have to do that. He could have stayed in one division. He ruined his career trying to do crazy things like go up to heavyweight. You know what I'm saying? We got the opposite of what we used to have. It used to be a thing where boxers would ruin their careers trying to show fans they're the best. Now guys are trying to hold on to their last fight, or trying to hold on to an undefeated record, or those guys looking good and unbeatable. And there's too much of that going on. It's too much building up. That's why what's going to happen soon, we're going to see Turkey Al-Sheikh and Riyadh season cards, and we're going to be like, man, those are real fights. And when we look at the fights in America, we're going to be like, man, these are trash. We got guys out here taking knees. He said, true facts. Ben Whittaker won the first fight, no one would have knew about Liam Cameron's story. Exactly. And I knew about it too. And I had switched over to Liam Cameron. Because I had kept saying to myself, I said, Ben Whittaker had 8 rounds. I said, this dude's been only fighting 8-round fights. And people don't know how important that is. An 8-round fight is a 20-minute fight. When you get to 12 rounds, that's 36 minutes. That means you got to be in the ring fighting a guy for 36 minutes. Any fight longer than 30 minutes is torture. Yeah, he was very focused. He was very focused. Oh, no, he did a little bit of showboat when he was like looking away or whatever. But what I didn't like about Ben, no, I'm going to tell you, to be honest with you, this is how I know Ben ain't going to go far. Every jab Cameron threw, it landed directly on Ben's chin. A lot of people don't even know it, but Cameron wasn't even getting started. He was just throwing his jab. He didn't throw a power shot like that on Ben. He was just throwing his jab. Boom, boom, boom. Ben gonna have some trouble. For them to not let Ben walk through the fire like that, they gonna put him in a bad spot, I'm telling you. And this is not me not liking Ben or anything. I like Ben. They put him in a bad spot though. If he doesn't get anything going, he's cooked. Yeah, his conditioning and stamina, that's one thing that you can get. That's a talent. That's a skill. That is a skill to have stamina and conditioning. That is a skill. You are useless when you're tired in boxing. That is a skill. For this guy to be a athletic boxer the way he is and to have some of the worst stamina, it's not good. He's cooked. I'm telling you. No matter how good I think he is, he's cooked. He can't have stamina like that. He's gassing out the same way Tyson was against Jake Paul. And Tyson is like 60 years old. He can't do that. His stamina. If you look at that last fight that just happened yesterday, he was tired in the second round. After 4 minutes, he was tired. He only fights at one speed. He can't switch it up. And he can't block a jab. It's gonna be tough for him. Yeah, 5 minutes of fighting is extremely tough. Extremely. The only thing close to it is probably worse is like UFC and stuff, because punching, yeah, that gets you tired. But when you're wrestling a guy, yeah, that's when it gets tough. That's why they have those 25 minutes championships and stuff. It gets dangerous for a while. Yeah, but these promotional guys, if they keep doing this to these fighters, man, they're going to mess these guys up. There's a lot of prospects in boxing that really need to get developed the right way. But I see what they're doing. They're trying to, and I don't want to say this to sound mean or anything, but it seems like a lot of these promoters are trying to speed up the development of a lot of these guys so they can put them on a Riyadh season card and get a little bit more money out of them. But you'll get these guys destroyed, though. Yeah, UFC is a long time. 5-minute rounds is crazy. It seems like forever, too, when you betting. They're going to speed a lot of these guys up. They're going to get them hurt. Amateur MMA is 3 rounds. Yeah, those 3 rounds, that's still a long time. Those championship minutes, though, those 5-minute rounds, Gypsy, those crazy. I can't do those. 3 minutes is still a long time. You say, is Ben Whittaker a front runner? I don't think he's a front runner. I think that it was bad matchmaking. He's only had 8 or 9 fights. And I think they looked at his age and they said, oh yeah, he's ready. Some guys aren't ready at a certain age, man. Like Lomachenko, he was smart enough to know that, let me get to, I'm about 26, 27 to go pro. No, I'm talking about UFC. I ain't bet on boxing. I don't bet on boxing no more because of yesterday. No, I don't bet on boxing no more. No, I definitely don't bet on boxing. I would love to, but I had to get away from it. Can't do it with referees jumping in like this. It's already hard enough to study for a fight, but to study if a referee's gonna jump in, if somebody get hit with a big shot, it's kind of tough, bro. At this point right now, I would just suggest to anybody, bet on the A side, man. If it's not a turkey out of sheet card, bet on the A side. He said, yo, I never paid it past the first round. That first round is, man, people don't know that first round is real, man. Those 3 minutes, once you get to 2 minutes, you're like, whoa. It's a whole nother minute left. Yeah, it's been bad too. And what I think about that too, Abdul, I don't think Turkey Al Sheikh is gonna let a lot of these guys, these referees, I don't think he's gonna have them on the card. Like certain referees, he's already writing down like, don't have that guy. You said Hamza Shiraz should have lost? Yeah, I can see why people say that. Me personally, I can understand why they put it a draw, because he was stepping to him and he was getting some shots off. I seen some stuff that, as far as him holding his own ground, because Adames tried to walk him down and he couldn't do it. Well, Adames was throwing the whole fight, and his aggressiveness, you could definitely would have gave him a draw. I mean, not a draw, a win, but I wasn't surprised they gave it a draw though. Me personally, but I understand why people feel like he won. Though. That's the best I've seen Carlos Adames, so I definitely feel like he could have won that fight. and a couple of other things people said recently about, because Carlos Adames was not able to fly to Saudi Arabia earlier. He tried to go out to Saudi Arabia like 2 or 3 weeks before the fight. They said, no, he can't come. So they wanted him to lose. Yeah, they wanted him to lose, bro. I didn't even think about it till recently. Somebody said that. I was like, oh, I forgot he got stuck at the airport. He was supposed to come out there like 3 weeks before. 19 years ago. Feels like it was just yesterday, don't it? I feel like it was just yesterday. Hey, Gypsy, that's when everything was so popular in the Midwest. In the Midwest, you can go nowhere without MMA. They might not say it, but when it comes to MMA, the Midwest in America definitely runs MMA. You can go anywhere and find an MMA match. I'm talking about, I seen some guy that was on UFC. Matt Hughes was out there. I seen Rampage, a lot of guys. John Jones, yeah. I know about John Jones. We was in college. Yeah, they run things out there. Yeah, I had a Mexican friend that wrestled in Kansas. Yeah, 2006. That might have been around 2006 when the Gypsy. 2006. That's when MMA was on fire. Yeah, that's when MMA was on fire around that time, Gypsy. It was on point. He said Turkey stood up and done a boss move. He said they British Pakistani community, UK love Hazar Shiraz, American and Adam Aziz, but they Pakistani connection. Why I guess Galal Yafai, he's not Pakistani? I don't think Yafai is Pakistani then, huh? I think he's something else. Yeah, I was wondering that. Yeah, I can agree with that, Abdul. That makes sense. Yeah, that Bilal fight, man, I was hitting so good on that card, bro. I think I picked Edwards, though. I think I had picked Edwards in that fight. Yeah, I gotta start posting my picks, though, man. I picked a lot of, I think I got like 11 out of 13 on that card. Yeah, I gotta start posting my picks, though. He said Decatur for the U.S. Yeah. Yeah, they've been doing some, but you know what? I like the early cards, though. I like the cards that's on UK time. I like the early cards. The one that was at, if it's early over here, it would be the one that was like 11 a.m. UK time. The ones that was like 11, 12, 1 p.m. Those early. Oh, he's Yemen. Okay, he's Yemen. Okay. That makes sense. Yeah, but that back is real, man. They don't understand. Those back problems when you're doing that sport, man. That's like everything that holds a chair together, man. Yeah, I used to think throwing my back out was gonna be a hard thing, but man, those back problems show up a lot. I had a disc problem recently, like a couple of years ago. I was like, man, yeah, back problems pop up a lot when you in combat sports, especially MMA. He said Keyshawn fighting Dos Santos about timing of the fight. Yeah, it is. It is. Keyshawn stepping up, bro. That 135 is getting crazy. A lot of these guys, they need to step up. We need a new We need a new image over here. We're looking bad right now. Got a lot of guys taking knees and things. It's looking bad over here right now. Yeah, the back is very important. Yeah, walking on toothpicks, man. Don't even want to sit down sometimes. Then it hurts to walk. Yeah, it's bad, man. It's bad. I threw on my back one time. I tried to like get up out of the chair and I just went to the ground. I was like, bro, I can't even get up off the ground right now. Yeah, threw my back out bad. I was trying to like lift up this car hood and the hood didn't come up, but I lift the car up. Oh, man. My legs just went out, bro. I was like, oh, man. Yeah, focus on your cores, bro. Calisthenics all day. Push-ups, pull-ups, anything. Work them joints out, too. And stretch. Stretching is important. Stretching is very important. But, man, they got so many fights they have being announced right now. The only thing I'm worried about right now is I told people earlier this year. Yeah, I'm trying to work on my core a little bit more. I've been falling off a little bit. You know how the winter time is. But the only thing I'm worried about is the judging the next couple of months in boxing. We got way too many big fights coming up for judging. Then you got Jake Paul fighting Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. I mean, Chavez should be able to take that fight. He's not a small guy. Dude walks around at least like 200. But they got to make sure this scoring and judging is going to be fair in the next couple of fights, because if not, we just going to be paying attention to turkey on the sheet. Oh, yeah, it'll definitely hit you. You like, you can't even get up. He said you don't even know. Oh, that happened over here too. Oh, that happens over here too. That happens over here too. Usually we try to stay away from any spots that have cats running behind them. Yeah, that happens too, Abdul. I think it's worse over here because we got all like, bro, the forest over here is, you know, they make things work around here. Yeah, I got to stretch periodically, man. I got to start doing that like today. I went for a walk this weekend up some hills and I didn't stretch. Worst thing that could have happened. I was like, man, I gotta start stretching again. You know, when you're younger, you're like, oh, this is not important, but it is. It is definitely important. But I don't know, man. I think that you hear a lot of backlash as far as with things in boxing right now, but I think fans are enjoying the fights. But I just know the fans from the UK yesterday, and it was Easter. They celebrated Easter night last night at the fight, and man, to have a guy like that get the fight stopped early, they were very disappointed. That's why I got the picture up there with Wilder, because people will say, yeah, well, the fight was stopped early because the guy was, bro. Until the guy's looking like this in the ring, it ain't that bad, man. Trust me. It ain't that. It's not that many guys that got power in boxing like that these days. I'm gonna be honest with you. I've seen fights where people say guys are power punchers and nobody even has a cut. That's why a lot of times people watch Tyson Fury and Wilder fight every time the fight happened, because you knew it was going to be fireworks. Somebody was going to bleed. Somebody was going to get knocked out. Somebody was going to get dropped, something. Every fight. It's just certain fighters, they don't go out for, they go out there to score, but some guys go out there to destroy. Like, forget a referee. Like, the referee could, he's holding on Wilder. He's like, bro, I'm turning around, walking the ring, and you got this guy on the ropes. Blackwell, why didn't the referee start that fight early? I don't remember that fight. A lot of people, the fight, I'm gonna tell you what fight did get stopped early. I'm glad you said that. Yeah, it's over when it's over. Like it used to be, Gypsy. In the 90s, 2000s, even 2000s. Man. Okay. You'll forget the referee is even there. When those fights used to happen back in the day, you didn't even know those guys were there, man. Like those referees, Mills Lane. You didn't even know those guys were there. We didn't even know Mills Lane like that until the Tyson fight. We knew he was there all the time, but until the Tyson fight happened, that's when you really was like, hey, man, what's... Oh, yeah, I heard about that guy recently. Yeah, I didn't see that fight, though. I ain't gonna lie. I didn't see that fight. I heard about that guy recently. That's the one that had made the comment recently when Chris Eubanks was... It was recently Chris Eubanks was talking about something online. I think that's the guy who had tweeted. It said something about Chris Eubanks recently. I seen the guy, I heard about the story. I ain't see the fight though. Cause I'm gonna be honest with you, Chris Eubanks, when he got hit by Liam Smith, that was a stoppage. Even though like he was on his feet, I'm gonna be honest with you, that was like, even though he was out, the way he got up and was able to hold his hands up, technically still could have let him go in that fight. I know that would sound extreme, but yeah, the fight is over when it's over, man. They gotta quit stopping these fights like this. They gotta understand, man. I understand guys' safety and everything, but bro, fans are showing up and spending a lot of money to go to these fights. We're not going to see no movie to watch the previews and leave. We trying to see the real thing. They heard the credibility went away yesterday. The credibility went away yesterday. I'm telling you guys. I looked yesterday. The UK fans were saying the same thing I said, like too early. I know people gonna say it's a white black thing. No, it's not, bro. Ben Whittaker has way more fans than Liam Cameron. Way more. This dude has millions of views, millions and millions and millions of views. Dude has like one video on TikTok that has like 7 million views. Nobody picked Liam Cameron to win the first fight. And the man's from the UK. From Sheffield. Oh, that's who it was on his shoulder. Oh, that's the guy that was on his shoulder. That's the guy that was on his shoulder. I think Chris Eubanks Sr. was trying to say that because he was saying he don't want his son to end up like that. And I understand that. I mean, as we've seen recently, the UK has been extremely harsh on those PED penalties. They are suspending guys for 8 years now. It's a guy who just got suspended recently for failing the PED test in the UK. He's about to get 8 years suspension. Yeah, so they're tightening up over there. That's why a lot of guys don't go over there and fight, because you got to be squeaky clean to go over there. Yeah, refs got to understand TKO way better. Yeah, the MMA, they do a way better job with TKOs. Because I've seen even recently Gypsy King, not Gypsy King, I call him Gypsy King, but Gypsy, even recently, when I seen a guy get dropped in MMA, and the ref still let the guy kind of see if he can get his arms back up. Yeah, Dennis McCann. Yeah, a referee still let the guy, see if he can get up off the ground. But if he gets rocked again, then they'll stop it. Like, okay, no, he can't do anything. But if a guy gets rocked one time, they're usually not going to call it unless it's like a huge knockout punch where you just like, nah, he's not finna get up from this. Or he shouldn't even continue. So the MMA stoppages are not this bad. Boxing is horrible. It's going to get better though, I'm telling you. I think that Dana White league is gonna change things. It's gonna change things. A lot of people say, "Oh, these guys don't get paid that much." man, these guys are going to get paid, bro. If these guys go into the Dana White League and make enough money or do what they need to, they're going to make money. Or if they do enough things as far as getting wins, they will be able to become millionaires in other fights. It will happen. This is just an opportunity for guys who don't usually have a chance to fight. These are for guys who don't want to go to the college of boxing. These are guys who just want to go straight to boxing, have a chance. You know, that's why we watch boxing. When I first started watching boxing, I said, hey, I want to see stories like, you know, that's why people like Rocky Balboa, because even though it's a fictional character, it was a guy who came off the street, who was a pro boxer, and was able to beat the best or compete with the best. And to not have that in real life, it's kind of like, man, I'll just watch the movie then. I can't have it in real life, so I'm just watch the movie. So that's what boxing is really missing. It's like the Buster Douglas effect. We don't have that around anymore. But I still think the sport is it's always going to be good because, you know, the fans make the sport great. Like Gypsy said earlier, man, that Kimbo Slice factor really made these guys. I think that's the reason why Jake Paul is kind of popular the way he is. They were kind of scared that he might become like a Kimbo Slice on his own, so they was like, let's just take him and try to make money off of him because, you know, we don't want him to do all this on his own and then he'll put us out of business. Yeah, martial art rules with only boxing techniques allowed. Yeah, that'll be exactly what the opponents need. Exactly. A lot of guys can't compete like that though. A lot of boxers actually want to do stuff like that. That's why I said, man, a lot of times boxing, they drop the ball a lot of times. Like if guys want to do things like with martial art rules, boxing techniques, it's a lot of boxers that actually recently said they would like to try things like that as far as like MMA. I don't know, just different things, but they don't even let these guys even try certain stuff like that. And you would think with all the boxers we have, you can have space for some people to do other things. Because a lot of these guys get bored with certain things. Certain fighters at a certain age, they say, man, I'm bored with this. Yeah, that fight yesterday had a lot of commercials on it. You saw it yesterday? I was like, whoa. Had a commercial like after every round. I only watched the Egerton fight. I watched the end of because you know it was only 2 rounds, like 1 or 2 rounds, the first and third fight. So I really only watched like 10 rounds of boxing yesterday, and I watched 3 fights. I was like, this is crazy. Oh yeah, we definitely gonna see. We definitely gonna see when Dana White sets this league up. We definitely gonna see. I want to see Gypsy. I want to see if he's gonna be able to get a lot of new names on a fight card, like when Canelo fights Terrence Crawford. I'm hearing that Dana White, because that's gonna be probably his first card that he does, possibly. It's an idea right now. I don't know if it's concrete yet, but I know Dana White's been trying to work with Terrence Crawford since 2018. I think in 2020, Dana White wanted to make a fight with Terrence Crawford versus Conor McGregor. And you know what the boxing people said? No, we don't want to do it. Think about that. Dana White was willing to make a guy who needs to be a guy who could have been one of the most popular boxers of this era. If he would have fought Conor McGregor, he would have been the biggest thing out here. And they wanted him to fight, Dana White said like 2020, 2019. He wanted Conor McGregor versus Terrence Crawford. And, you know, the boxing promoter said no. Yeah, he definitely gonna bring new names. I like the names he's grabbing right now too. I like the names he's grabbing right now. He's grabbing some guys who's gonna come out and fight. Yeah, and people don't know it, but Dana White loves boxing. They have a picture of Dana White watching boxing. He was watching like a Canelo fight. Still was watching the Canelo fight while he was ringside at a UFC event. Let's see, Dana boxing. Yeah, he was watching boxing at a UFC event. Where the picture at? This dude's hilarious, bro. This man watching Canelo during the fight, so he loves boxing. Let me pull it up real quick. I think that might have been the vet he put up that they saying that he had. Yeah, but he loves boxing though. That's one thing that people don't understand. These promoters recently, think about this now. I'm gonna tell you guys something. Eddie Hearn and all those guys said recently, allegedly, they said that we should cut the fights down to 8 or something like that. These are too many fights to be having. We don't want to have these many fights. These dudes told Turkey Al Sheik to stop putting out this many fights, man. And look, Dana White was sitting here watching one of his biggest fighters in UFC, and he's ringside looking at Canelo Alvarez fight against who was Canelo fighting? Hold on, what Canelo fight was that? Dana White accused of disrespect as viral photo exposes UFC boss mid-fight watching Canelo Alvarez against Caleb Plant. I love the internet, man. Yeah, so Dana White, this is the reason why he said Dana White loves money. Yeah, all those guys do. Absolutely. I don't think he got into it, but you got to understand, though. I don't think Dana White just got into boxing just for the money, though. If he wanted to do that, he could do that a long time ago. He's already been doing small fights on UFC Fight Pass for a while now. So Ramon, I understand. A shout out to Ramon too. Ramon, you definitely are correct. He definitely loves money. Trust me, I know that Dana White has been underpaying a lot of people over the years, but he's also brought a lot of talent to the situation though. I will say this about MMA, I kind of look at things differently because MMA is not like boxing. In MMA, you can have a guy get famous from MMA without having to go through things like what a boxer has to go through to get famous. A lot of these boxers have to actually get in the ring to get famous. You don't usually have a boxer who's not in the pros or with the big companies that get famous. That usually never happens. But in UFC, you can make some things happen without Dana White or other people. So a lot of people, and then now, to be honest with you too, Ramon, they have more companies now than they used to have. Like when I was growing up, they only had Pride Fight and then they had UFC. But now they have PFL, they have Bellator, you got Invictus, you got a lot of people that put on MMA fights now. So Dana White being greedy has actually made MMA a lot bigger than what it was before. You know what I'm saying? It actually made it a lot bigger than it was before. But in boxing, this is a lot different because you just got to go through them. It's like, oh, you got to go through this. You got to do what everybody else is doing. We got to let you in this club. Oh, yeah, I already know, Ramon. You're not lying, Ramon. You're saying facts. Yeah, Abdullah, he said they love money too. You're right about that, Abdullah. But like Gypsy said, I really wanted to be behind McGregor and always watch till I watched him fight. He was the whole thing down, but the fight, yeah. Gypsy probably leaned more towards like a wrestler type of background. He's just a striker. I'm not really in love with that. Gypsy's kind of, I agree with him on that. I don't like too many just strikers in UFC. I think that kind of gets boring after a while. Especially when you're naturally probably not just a guy who's even a striker. Yeah, a lot of people like strikers, but if you watch MMA for a long time, it gets old after a while. Then you already know those guys that got jiu-jitsu skills and kickboxers. It's going to be a problem for a guy who's just a striker. That's a lot of problems McGregor ran into, a wrestler, a striker. So yeah, I already know Gypsy's definitely speaking facts on that. Boxing got too many promoters, too many belts, too many middlemen. They're going away from that. Actually, right now, Abdul, they're going away from that right now. I mean, they're still going to have the fights, but they're going away from that because most of the guys we watched before are old now. So basically, all the promoters we have are aged themselves out. They aged out every boxer. Like Joshua has been aged out because now he was supposed to fight Dubois 2 or 3 years ago. I don't know if Joshua was the same today as he was 3 years ago. So I could say he's been aged out. Fury's been aged out because he could have had those fights with Wilder a lot sooner and faster. Usyk's been aged out in certain situations. He has been fighting people, but look at the age he's fighting them at. Beterbiev, he's 40 years old. A lot of these guys have been aged out because of these promoters trying to build up certain fighters and stuff. And it's gotten so old and the sport has gotten so far away. UFC has gotten so bigger. It's gotten bigger. Like UFC is bigger than on ESPN. UFC is bigger than boxing. It just is. When people get the ESPN app or ESPN Plus, a lot of people watch boxing, but they're not investing into the sport of boxing like a person that is when they get the app to watch MMA. You said Fury versus Joshua gonna happen? Nah, Fury's retired, man. Fury's retired. Fury's retired. Fury's retired. I would just say this, Abdul. Look into Fury. I'm not supposed to say this, but I'm going to say this. Fury, as far as I know, Fury hasn't failed anything. So lately, he has a situation where he's failed it before, but he hasn't failed anything lately, as far as I know. But him and Dennis McCann has a connection. Fury and Dennis McCann has a connection where Fury's gonna be stuck in the house, bro. He's not leaving the house. Not for a fight. Even his promoters, let me tell you something. When Fury's promoters came out and said, don't come out of retirement, that's it. Frank Warren offered him a job to put on a suit and do something else. Bob Arum said he doesn't want to see Fury come out of retirement. Canelo and Benavidez, I don't think Canelo and Benavidez is going to happen unless I don't think Canelo and Benavidez is going to happen. Even if Canelo goes out there and beats Crawford, it'll be a waste of time to fight Benavidez. Canelo technically Abdul, technically Canelo is supposed to be fighting Jake Paul and William Skull next. Crawford is just a fight that Turkey Al-Sheikh was able to make happen. Yeah, he definitely got him off the couch, Ramon. Definitely got him off the couch. He never lied. He definitely got him off the couch and made millions. Tyson Fury made so much money recently. He didn't like that last thing he had. He had to pay that UK tax. That UK tax for, I think it's like 49% or something like that. 40%. It was high. Might have been like 40%, 37%. Will Billy Joe Saunders fight again? No, he's cooked. Billy Joe Saunders is way too big now. He's huge. I wish I still had that video up. Abdul Billy Joe Saunders is huge now. They got video of Billy Joe Saunders helping some kids train. Billy Joe Saunders is like almost the same size as Andrew Ruiz. I'm not even joking. I missed the Khan fight. I saw the Smith versus Jermaine fight. I knew that Jermaine was gonna be a dog, even though he got dropped recently. And I feel like Smith is a lot better than the way he fought. He still was able to drop him a lot of times though, bro. Like Smith fought well. I thought Jermaine would be able to survive though. So I didn't want to bet on it. You see how close it was? How Jermaine was like able to survive and he almost got stopped? I didn't want to bet on it, so I was like, nah, I like Jermaine might survive that fight. But I thought Dawson Smith looked good in the fight though. I thought Dawson Smith looked good. I'm here. I didn't see the Warrington fight. I actually got to watch it still. I heard that a lot of people said Warrington should retire though. He won the fight, but they say he should retire. I don't know, man. I don't know. I know he's fighting at what, 130? He's fighting at 130 now? He's fighting at 130? If he's fighting at 135, he need to retire. If that fight yesterday was 135, he needs to retire. But I think Josh Warrington looks good though, man. He didn't win the Kakashi fight, but he didn't get stopped. So that was a good thing. Yeah, he dropped him in the 6th round. He kept losing his mouthpiece. Oh, okay. It looked like Warrington did good. He looked bad because he didn't stop him. He probably looked bad because he didn't get a stoppage. Oh, he fought at 130? Yeah, that ain't bad. He fought him at 131 though. Oh man. Josh Warrington having problems making 130? Man, he need to go ahead and hang it up, bro. Yeah, I see what y'all talking about now. Man, this dude need to be, he got to be fighting at 135, man. Man, he's struggling to make 130, and he just moved up from 126. Dang. He got to be active, too. He only fought one time last year. Yeah, he might be a wrap. Yeah, he should retire, bro. He can't even make 130 no more. He just moved up to 130. He got one fight at 130 and you can't make weight? I think it's over. Not because I think he's cooked or nothing. I just think because it's already hard for Cordina to find a fight. You got Matt Hughes. Not Matt Hughes. What's my guy name that fought Kambosos? Maxie Hughes. You got Maxie Hughes out here still. And he's been looking better than Warrington, so it's like, yeah, his best fights is Lee Selby and Carl Frampton. And I thought, to be honest with you, I thought he looked good in the Lee Wood fight. Not gonna lie. I thought he looked good in the Lee Wood fight. He got caught with that shot. He looked bad. Him and Lee Wood was weight drained though. But, cause you know, Lee Wood was technically weight drained in that fight. You could probably say Lee Wood was more weight drained in that fight than Warrington was. That's why that one shot he had just landed and that was it, but yeah, Lee Wood versus Kakashi fighting and made it. That's gonna be a good fight. That's gonna be a good fight. I don't know who I got. I don't know who I got because I don't know what weight it is. What weight class is that fight gonna be at? Dang, Kakashi still at 130? Whoa. Wow, Kakashi still at 130? Wow. I don't know, man. I might have to look at something real quick. I might go with Lee Wood on that one. Might have to. Kakashi still at 130. That's not good. This dude talking about last year, talking about, please let me move up to 135. And he's still fighting at 130. That's crazy. Dang, Eddie Hearn, you should have made that Sugar Nunez fight with him then. I guess after that Cordina fight, they was like, nah, we're not going back over there. Yeah, Warrington couldn't KO Khan. That's bad. He dropped him too. They say he kept spitting his mouthpiece out, but I don't know what. I had to go back and look at it. Yeah, way too many people say he looked bad yesterday though. And they say they in a win. The dude won. They say he still look bad. Yeah, people don't usually say that, so I gotta agree with the fans on that one. They don't usually just come out and say, oh yeah, I'm definitely gonna do the Rolly and Garcia undercard. I'm actually gonna do a panel on here, so I'm gonna let anybody, I'm gonna do something different that day. I ain't gonna let the idea out yet, but I don't want nobody to steal my idea, but yeah, I think I'm gonna have a panel on here the whole fight. So whoever wanna come on here, like if y'all was on here, you just pop up on here and react to the fight at the same time while we on here. Yeah, I'm gonna start doing something different. I'm gonna wait until the Garcia and Rolly fight though, that weekend, because you know Canelo's gonna fight that Saturday, then that Sunday Inoue's gonna fight. It's gonna be so many good fights coming on. I think on the Inoue card though, the best fight might be the co-main event. I don't know. The co-main, I'm gonna be honest with you guys. The co-main event might be the best fights on all three of those cards. Don't be surprised. The co-main event might be the best fights on all three of those cards. I definitely would have to say that because most of those fights have a champion in it. You know, Haney and Ramirez. You got Munguia was a champion before. Then you have, I forgot what the Sunday fight was. I can't remember. Oh, Rafael Espinoza and Edward Vasquez, the guy who fought Cordina. I want to say 2 years ago. A year and a half ago. Yeah, they got some good fights coming up though. Yeah, Kakashi is gonna be a good fight for Lee Wood, but that's a tight spot, man. They putting Lee Wood in it. I don't know. Eddie Hearn couldn't have, cause isn't Lee Wood? Who's Lee Wood with? I won't say the wrong thing. Yeah, man, he could have. I don't know if I was Kakashi, because Kakashi right now, it seemed like he wanted a chance at they said Ben Whittaker versus Joshua Buatsi. Would anybody like to see that fight? Somebody said he had 9 fights. What the hell, Sam? Dude had 9 fights. Put him out there, bro. They trying to stick him out there. Oh yeah. My bad, man. I haven't been announcing none of these fights. Yeah, we have okay, so May the 2nd. What is that? May the 2nd. That Friday Gypsy, they're gonna have Ryan Garcia. They're gonna have Ryan Garcia versus Rolly Romero as the main event. Then they're gonna have Devin Haney versus Jose Ramirez as the co-main event. Then they're gonna have Teofimo Lopez versus Barbosa as the third fight on the card. And then they're gonna have that weekend Munguia versus the guy he got knocked out by recently. And then we're gonna have Canelo versus William Skull for undisputed. Bacoli's gonna fight F.A. Ajagba that weekend on the same card. And somebody else, this guy named Marco Verde is gonna be fighting on the card. He's supposed to be the next Canelo Alvarez. And then they have Badu Jack fighting, I don't know how this guy's name is spelled, like Makayan or something like that. I think that's how you actually say it, Makalan. He's fighting for the WBC World Championship Cruiserweight. So they got 2 championship fights on that card. That card is loaded. And then with Inoue, the next day, that Sunday, so Ryan fights Friday, Canelo fights Saturday, and then that Sunday, Inoue, not only Inoue from Japan, the monster, he is going to be fighting in Las Vegas that Sunday against Cardenas and Rafael Espinoza, the guy who's like 6'2", 100 pounds. He's going to be fighting Edward Vasquez. So they got some huge fights. And what are they going to do? Are they going to have Espinoza fight Inoue? Right now, they should have it. This weekend, they should be having Espinoza versus Inoue. They should be having that fight this weekend, but they're not doing it. But yeah, those are the fights that's happening that weekend, Gypsy. And then this weekend coming up, they're going to have Conor Benn. Let me go and pull this up. Conor Benn versus Eubanks. They're going to have Anthony Yarde versus Lyndon Arthur. Chris Billiam-Smith versus a guy named Brandon Glanton. This guy has a lot of power. They got this guy, Vidal Riley versus Siobhan Clarke, a.k.a. C4. And they got Liam Smith versus Aaron McKenna. So yeah, they got some guys. It should have been one fight that was up there. But yeah, this the fights that are coming on this weekend. This guy, Brandon Glanton, he's a animal. He's probably one of the most aggressive fighters. He fights like I don't know, man, how to explain it, but this dude, Brandon Glanton, he almost fights like Holyfield or something like that. He kind of fights like Holyfield. If I had to compare somebody to Holyfield, it'll probably be this guy, Brandon Glanton. He fights like Holyfield. So yeah, they're gonna have some decent fights on this weekend. All these fights right here could be main event card. I mean, yeah, they can be main event fights. So I actually like all these fights. It was one more that was supposed to be on there. I think it was the Richard Riakpo versus Lawrence Okolie, but I don't think they're having that fight. But yeah, a lot of fights coming on this weekend, definitely. I hope people understand that this is going to be a good weekend of boxing. Yeah, for the next couple of months, it's going to be a good fight on every weekend. That's why UFC is starting to kind of tighten up with a lot of things because they falling behind right now. Yeah, so they got a fight coming on this Friday too. It's a lot of Friday fights they starting to have now too. The guy, Ashton Slave, he's going to be fighting this weekend against Nicholas Polanco. It's going to be in College Park, Georgia, with Armando Vargas versus Angel Luna on the undercard. Yeah, they got a lot of fights coming up, man. And guess what? This weekend coming up, they got another fight that's coming on Sunday. So now they're starting to do fights on Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Can we believe it? They're finally listening to the fans. They're starting to do more fights on Sunday now. They're having a fight on May the 4th on Sunday, and they're having a fight on May the 11th on a Sunday. June the 8th, they're having another fight on a Sunday. Well, actually, listen to this. On June the 8th, they're going to have 2 championship fights on Sunday on 2 different fight cards. One is going to be on ESPN, the other one's going to be on DAZN. It's a lot of big fights starting to happen right now. A lot of big fights. Yeah, I like the way things are going right now. Yeah, Holyfield was very skilled, bro. He had a lot of heart, too. A lot of heart. Man had a lot of heart, man. Yeah, he fought with both of his hands. Yeah, that's a good way to describe him. Yeah, it's gonna be insane, Gypsy. This year, if you look at the schedule for this year, it's insane. Cause we already have Canelo's fight card for Crawford already done, and that's what, in September. So now everybody's just trying to get in where they can fit in. And then I know a lot of fighters are going to want to fight on the Canelo versus Crawford undercard. So Dana White, he's going to use all the power and manpower he has to build that undercard up. But from what I've seen from him, as far as boxing, Dana White knows boxing just as well as these other guys do. It's a lot of people out here that boxing fans that don't understand, but Dana White has been around boxing. He used to work for Floyd Mayweather. So this guy knows just as much boxing as anybody else. I'm gonna tell you one thing. These other promoters wasn't smart enough to work for a guy like Floyd Mayweather like Dana White did. So he was over there getting knowledge from Floyd about boxing and everything else. So he's been around a lot of stuff. Trust me. He's been around. And guess what? If he needs to, and he's done business with Floyd. It's a lot of promoters that haven't done business with Floyd Mayweather. And Dana White has. The man, trust me, the man, he's a Swiss Army knife. He going into this situation with a lot of knowledge. But once he gets to the end of this, that's why you see a lot of these fights starting to get made right now. Dana White himself called it a going out of business sale. I don't know what that means, but we're going to see as time progresses. But he calls it a going out of business sale. I don't know. When you have a lot of guys that you can just throw on one card and you're doing it, you know how certain things go. Like when DVDs start going out of style, you start going to Walmart, they start selling DVDs for $5 a pop or $3, or you get 5 for $20. Now you can probably get 10 for $20. But that's kind of what he said is happening in boxing. And if you can see, a lot of these fight cards are, I wouldn't call it going out of business, but it's a lot of fighters that are like middle age to older that need to get a lot of action going. And I wouldn't call it going out of business, but those guys do have they have a shelf limit. They'll have not a lot of time. It's not a lot of time these guys have to be in the sport of boxing. Once you're like 32, 33, we see a lot of guys retiring at like 33, 36. So once you get to that age, it starts to get a little harder. I think we see Fury walk away at 36. People said Joshua should walk away. It's weird. Yeah, I like Joe Louis, all those guys. Yeah, man, I like most boxers, old school boxers. Yeah, I've grown to appreciate those guys. I always like George Foreman, Roy Jones, Ray Leonard, Ray Robinson. I've learned more about him. He's the real deal. Roberto Duran, of course. You know what I'm saying? Roberto Duran is one of the best. I know people say he got no moss, but if you look at the fights he was in, trust me. If anybody knew when it was time to take a knee or the no moss, it was definitely him. And we see now he can He can still talk and everything the same as he used to. He just had heart surgery recently. So who knows, man? Maybe that no mas he had definitely saved his life. It definitely did. But yeah, those are all classic boxers. No, they don't. I think, to be honest with you, I think they still have guys who are built like that. It's just the environment is so protective these days. It don't let these guys have full potential. Because I think Daniel Dubois got that good on accident. Not to say that people didn't expect him to be a good fighter, but it was almost like he had to do a trial and error. He had to fail first before he was able to be a champion. Lost to Joe Joyce, Usyk. Then he got injured before the Usyk fight. Dude had 2 career-ending injuries, broken eye socket. I think it was like a torn ACL or something, Achilles. So, and he was only 25 at that age. So, yeah, he's definitely been through a lot. So, a lot of these fighters ain't really. That's why Daniel Dubois is looking at things like, bro, it's nothing else I can go through that's going to affect me. These other guys, they haven't been through anything. As soon as they break a nail, they're going to be like, what do I do? You know, so. And then the paydays is hurting a lot of guys. People say, this guy needs to be paid. You said, well, Errol Spence Jr. going to get back? Yeah, he will. He will. He was in a situation where he was promoting the fight last year with Frank Martin. Then he's in a situation where he doesn't have the same trainer. He getting a new trainer. Because, you know, the Derrick James guy, imagine if I work for you, right? And I'm training you. I'm training Abdul. Me and Abdul, I'm training him. I'm his trainer. He been paying me, what, 100K, 100 pounds, 100 euros, and 100,000 euros. Let's just say he giving me that. And then the next year, well, we get a Crawford fight, allegedly, and I sit up here and say, man, how much you making? You like, man, I'm finna make 30 million. And you like, shoot, I need $1 million then. You gonna be like, what? I'm paying you 100 already. So I think in that situation, it was just a lot of people counting other people's money and not trying to take the same payday they had before. A lot of that going on. So I think Errol Spence just had a lot of business stuff he had to get out of the way first, as far as even if he wanted to fight, it would have been hard. He doesn't have a trainer. So him getting in the ring right now would actually be worse than anything as far as last year, because he didn't have a trainer. There's nobody he's really trained with or locked in with yet. And trying to work on his body and everything else, trying to get his mindset right. But I still think Errol Spence is the real deal. But he just caught Crawford at his best, bro. Crawford was at his best. He wasn't. And when he struggled, if Crawford was at his best, yeah, it's just a skill thing. Style matchup wise, but as far as Errol Spence, is still Errol Spence though. I think he still be able to come back and do some things, but he got to get a trainer that's going to be able to bring the best out of him. I think the best trainer he actually could get was somebody like Bomac, but you know, Bomac got a lot going on though. I don't know about Bozy because he got a lot of guys who have those amateur backgrounds. It's like at a certain point, even Jarrell Miller is a guy who, but Bozy do a good job too though. Even Jarrell Miller is a guy who was like a kickboxer or something. So. He said, do you think Jake Paul and Logan Paul making great again or a joke again? Like I said before, Abdul, like once, because you got to think about it. And I've noticed this too, Abdul. A lot of people don't look at KSI the same way they look at Jake Paul. I think it's because KSI not really stepping on toes like that. And I think that Jake Paul just he kind of like inserted himself into the sport of boxing, pro boxing level, to the point where people are just like, I'm good on him. You know, most people just want to see him get knocked out. So that's kind of the thing with Jake Paul. People just want to see him get knocked out. He is kind of bringing a lot more eyes to the sport. I will say that it's a lot more eyes that is coming to the sport that probably wouldn't have. But I don't know how popular Jake Paul is making the sport of boxing though, because a lot of times, like I said last year, Jake Paul fought, I want to say 2 or 3 times last year, and most people don't know the guys he fought. I know he fought Mike Perry, but they don't know the other guy he fought. So I don't know how great he is making boxing. A guy that's that popular, you should be at least, you should at least know the guy he fought. Most boxing fans, they know a guy, their favorite fighter or a popular fighter fought 20 years ago. He could be a bum, a cab driver. You'll most likely remember the guy, but I don't know if Jake Paul is as popular as he could be just now. I think he probably has to switch it up a little bit. That's what he's doing now. He's probably trying to fight ex-boxers. But if you look at his resume though, I mean, a lot of these guys, they'll fight certain people you don't know. Then it gets to a certain point where they start fighting former champions or guys who've been in main event fights. And that's what Jake Paul doing. And he has real boxers around him too. I think that's the thing we forget about the most. He has real boxers that train him and real boxing trainers. Yeah, they watching Jake Paul. You know, all of us got during the pandemic, the Jake Paul effect really caught us off guard because. All right, man. Appreciate that, Gypsy, man. I'm gonna see you later on, man. I'm gonna check you out. I'm trying to check one of your lives, man. Yeah, anybody check out Gypsy, man. He got a good little channel, man. He be reviewing foods and stuff. Actually, he had a food on there I was supposed to review. Not review, but I was actually he reviewed on there recently. I was looking at, I forgot what it was. He reviewed something recently. I was like, man, I was trying to those cheeses. Yeah, bro did that about them cheeses, man. He reviews stuff, so if you want to check him out, put his link down there. But yeah, he be reviewing different things. I was like, man, what's stuff would come in handy though. Just food reviews, little stuff like that. Good channel though. But yeah, these youngsters, they watch Jake Paul, but we do too. I'm not even gonna lie. I've watched Jake Paul. I didn't want to watch it the first, I think it was like the Nate Robinson, then it was I think once it got to like the Ben Askren fight, I was kind of like, I'll watch it. Cause the event started getting cool. They was doing like concerts. The Snoop Dogg commentary kind of saved Jake Paul a little bit, made the knockout more better. He went viral. But I don't know how popular Jake Paul is, to be honest with you though. Because once he lost to Tommy Fury and people didn't really care about it, I'm like, it wasn't that people didn't care about him losing. It's that he's not as popular as he is. It depends on what matchup he's in. His thing, Jake Paul's thing is, let me go against a professional boxer people see him against a professional basketball player, MMA guy, but against a boxer, we just ain't seen that yet. Like a professional boxer, not Mike Tyson, just a guy who's younger, somebody's younger, who's under 40 years old. So that's what most boxing fans ask for. And they're like, man, Jake Paul didn't fight a real boxer. He fought Mike Tyson. Then he pissed off a lot of boxers like that. They didn't appreciate him fighting Mike Tyson like that, so they requested to fight him. Everybody. It's not one fight that Jake Paul can't get in boxing right now. If he actually wanted to get in the ring, you got to think about the people that Jake Paul. Andre Ward even said recently that he'll fight Jake Paul. But like I've said before, I think it's came from everything we was talking about Abdul. Like the building up fights has made Jake Paul relevant. Because as you're waiting on the fights to get built up that we want to see, like for Fury and Joshua and, you know, other fights like that could have happened. While we wait on those fights, we got to watch Jake Paul. I was mad at him and Mike. I knew once Mike had, once it got switched to November, Mike had to fight. And two of the reasons Mike fought was because they weren't going to have the fight unless Jake Paul and Mike fought on the card. They wasn't going to have Amanda Serrano and Katie Taylor as the main event unless Jake Paul and Mike Tyson fought on the card. So that's why they went through with it. He helped everybody get paid, but, you know. I definitely didn't like the fight, though. I didn't like the fight. But once it got made, people were still saying it's not going to happen. I'm like, bro, it's going to happen, bro. And boxing and money talks. It's going to happen. But yeah, I just didn't like the way Jake was fighting him. I'm like, bro, if you're going to fight the guy and waste our time in the first couple of rounds, let your hands go. So when he didn't do that, I was like, yeah, you kind of got over on us with that one. But yeah, man, I was just talking on here for a little while. I'm going to be back on here later on. Appreciate you, Abdul, for coming through, bro. Yeah, he's going to fight Chavez Jr. coming up. Chavez Jr. and he has he fighting Chavez Jr. and he has a deal with Canelo to fight in the future. That paper that Canelo signed to fight Jake Paul is going to use that paper in the future. He's not going to use it now. But Jake Paul's going to he's going to use that picture to not that picture, but that contract to fight Canelo. Yeah, he's not going to let Canelo get away with this one. Yeah, this is the fight they're going to have. It's not going to be on Netflix, though. Yeah, Netflix was glitching. They try to make it seem like 60 million. Man, Netflix got like 1 billion people on that app. They try to act like, oh, it's glitching because 60 million people. You mean to tell me 60 million people don't watch movies on y'all app? You got hundreds of millions on here, so I think that fight did way more numbers than they said. For it to be crashing like that, it was crashing, bro. And I know everybody watches Netflix. Everybody. Everybody might not have the app, but everybody watches. But yeah, Jake Paul gonna be fighting Chavez Jr. I don't know how Chavez Jr. looked in his last fight, but bro, he better show up, man. He still embarrassing his dad last name like this, man. He gotta go last name, first name, middle name. He better show up. It's gonna be on the zone though. June 28th. Yeah, this is gonna be crazy. It's gonna be a good summer though, man. They lining up all these fights. But yeah, I gotta get up out of here, man. I appreciate everybody for coming through though, man.